Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. A video that's taken a while for me to actually want to sit down and do, but we won yesterday. We beat Brighton Hove Albion by 4-2. Make sure I get that right. But yeah, very pleased with that. Unfortunately missed the game yesterday due to my ongoing health issues, which isn't beneficial for me, but it's a shame that I missed the game. But I'd rather miss two games than go to them games and then miss the whole of the rest of the season, where we could be in for a very dramatic climax to our campaign. We've got a few big home games coming up as well against some big teams like Manchester United and big teams like that, so I want to try and get to them as well, because they're the type of games you look forward to when you get promoted, and they're the type of games that I've longed for, especially when we've been in the Championship. But going back to yesterday's game, very pleasing performance. I think the only really frustration was that it took us till we were 2-0 down to actually start playing. And if we're going to keep doing that, then it's going to be a big problem, especially against some of the teams we've got come up at home. If we go 2-0 down against teams like that, there'll be no way back. And we were probably fortunate to get back into the game, but we showed a good determination, spirit to come back into the game. Callum Chambers took his goal really well. It was a really good volley it was to even get us back into the game. Obviously Mitrovic chipped in with 2 goals again, takes him to double figures this season, which I've been saying for a while. If he could break into double figures this season, that would be good for him. He's reached an hour 10. And also Luciano Vietto, he's got his first Fulham goal as well. It was a couple of weeks ago. He was under a bit of scrutiny, and rightly so. He was playing quite poorly, especially in the FA Cup game. But he's more effective than Andre Schürrle, in my opinion. I think with him you get more of a work rate defensively, and also probably a little bit more in the final third. Obviously Schürrle has got the capability of scoring a screamer in his locker, but it's just his overall game. He's a frustrating player. He's a very good player nonetheless, but he's very frustrating in terms of what he can do. He's a player we all know he's achieved a lot at a high level of football, but he's just not showed it a lot this season. I do think Vietto should hopefully get the nod, maybe towards going to the big game against Palace at the weekend. Obviously Tom Cairney came on in the second half, which was good as well. It was good to see him come on. I'm really surprised why he hasn't been starting recently. I think against Burnley a couple of weeks ago he looked really good when he come off the bench. Done it again as well last night, and was one of the catalysts in us turning the game around, instrumental in the midfield, and really allowed that ability to let Seri kind of really roam the midfield with a bit more freedom. And really we saw last night what all the hype was about in the summer for him. He's been a fantastic player. He's a fantastic player, sorry, but we haven't seen enough of that talent that we all know is there. And last night was definitely a turning point for him, and hopefully he can really kick on, because he's a quality player, and if he can show it a little bit more, and if we can perform to that type of standard, then I definitely think we're up there with a chance of even staying up. We've got a big game against Palace on Saturday, who do play tonight against Southampton. So if one of them teams could lose, hopefully Palace could get beat. And if we could beat them on Saturday, it'd take us to 2 points in the off safety. And to think, a couple of weeks ago we looked like we were dead and buried. We're still not in it. We're still not. I don't know. I still think we could end up going down. However, if we put up a good fight, then that's brilliant. Obviously, deadline day is tomorrow as well. All quiet really in terms of the transfer talk, and not many rumours flying around in terms of concrete deals, which is a bit of a worry really. Hopefully, we can get some deals done between now and the 11 o'clock deadline tomorrow, which would be important. Try and get some good players and who can really benefit us. I think other things to take away from yesterday, I think really we're best off playing with a back 4. I don't think playing with a back 5 consisting of 6 defenders in that starting 11, it just doesn't work. Obviously Tim Ream came off pretty early on really, within the half an hour, and that just sums it up really. I think Ranieri's trying to install a bit more of discipline into this side that has leaked a lot of goals, and that's understandable, but I do think that we are a much better side playing on the front foot, trying to take the game to the opposition instead of actually looking to try and sit back and conserve and then try and play that well-known Ranieri style of counter-attack. I think we can do that, but I just think we can be a little bit more adventurous in terms of selection as well. Instead of going with a back 5, go with a back 4 and really let some of these players express themselves a bit more. So I think with that back 5, it's very negative-minded. It is negative. That's the correct word to really use. I think negative. It is just dull, really, isn't it? I think we've seen really the past couple of games of football hasn't been too great. We haven't scored more than 1 goal for a long time. I think a couple of games now we haven't scored more than 1, even 2 at a push. So to get 4 yesterday was definitely an improvement, and it's good to see a plan B for once. It was something Slavisa got criticised for a lot during his tenure, that he didn't have a plan B. Ranieri was openly admitting to his mistakes, changed it yesterday, bringing on Cairney as well, and we definitely saw a much better performance in the second half. A performance that really can give a lot of fans optimism, really stands in good stead for the rest of the season. The big run in where we've got some big games, as I said, but also some other important games against sides in and around us who are not out of the woods just yet, but could easily get dragged in. I look at Brighton and think, could they still get dragged into the relegation mix? And they're on 26 points as well, so they're not guaranteed to survive just yet. I still think they will, but they're not out of the clear just yet. They're just lurking in and around it. I think if a couple of the teams below in front of us and top of us and us were to pick up a little bit of form, it would be very, very worrying for Brighton. But look, there's going to be plenty of twists and turns yet. Obviously, deadline day is going to be important for a number of clubs. I think Newcastle making a couple of big signings, I think, so that'll be interesting to see how that gets on with them. Obviously, that big win last night for them as well. It just seems like whenever we get a big win, there's always at least one or two teams around us who always seem to just do us a little bit more, to go one better than us with a result like that. Beat Man City. I know Burnley were 2-0 up against Man United and threw away a 2-goal lead, but still come away with a point, you know. They didn't get beat, which is the thing. So it just makes it a little bit more difficult. I know Cardiff got beat yesterday, but they had their chances from what I heard, and they could have easily came away with something as well. So we're not, we're by no means guaranteed to start this year, but if we can get a result against Crystal Palace at the weekend, it definitely gives us a bit more of a chance. Ranieri did come out and say that the team is alive again after that result, and I think that's a good phrase to use, really. I think it has given us a bit of extra lease of life, really. I think that 2-0 was looking quite bleak, and I think we were looking over our shoulders at what could potentially happen. We've turned it around, got a huge 3 points, which is positive, and we just need to keep this belief going. We've got a good group in there who can, if they can really find the talent they've got, we can definitely get out of this situation, but it's going to be tough, and we do need some new signings. We need a couple more players in a few areas. We need another striker, I think, a centre-half, maybe another midfielder, maybe, just to try and give us a bit more depth. Obviously, the defensive issues are still there. Another 2 goals conceded is another negative, which isn't great, but hopefully between now and tomorrow we can maybe get somebody in, maybe 2 defenders, which would be nice, another centre-half who's got a bit more of experience, really, and add a bit more leadership to our dressing room, because I do think we lack that on the pitch, and hopefully we can sort that out. It's been frustrating. We've had a whole month to sort this out, and yet we're going into another January window like last year, relying on last-minute signings. So I know they worked last year, but can lightning strike twice with this type of thing? I don't think it can, and I hope it can, but it's very unlikely. This window, I understand this window's tough. A lot of clubs don't let players go to right until the end, until they know what the whole situation is with their own squad. So it is a frustrating window, but we have been patient. A lot of Fulham fans have been quite frustrated as well about Tony Khan and his whole approach to the window, which has been frustrating enough, but we've just got to stick by, and they mean well. I know they can frustrate at times, but they mean well. And I saw a couple of other things on Twitter. Apparently fans leaving at half-time at 2-0, which I think is ludicrous. I mean, I wouldn't leave at 2-0. I wouldn't even leave at half. Who would leave at half-time? I mean, come on. You know, it's a game of 2 halves. Yesterday, that summed it up, didn't it? I mean, first half we were absolutely appalling. Second half we turned it around, but I think for the supporters who leave at half-time, I think that's embarrassing. I mean, until yesterday, I didn't even know if you could even leave at half-time. That's how much I know about football, isn't it? I didn't even know you can leave at half-time, but if they haven't that, then it's a shame, because we don't need that type of support, really. People turning their backs on the team, leaving like so early on as well. I can get if they leave, you know, at 90 minutes or things like that, but to leave at half-time, it is just fickle, I think, isn't it? You know, you've got to support the team through thick and thin. If you're going to turn your back at half-time, then it's really a waste of time even going if you're going to go at half-time. It's just pointless going for one half of football. I mean, it's just unheard of, isn't it? But it's just the way some of our supporters are. I think they're more of the supporter fan base who've really been supporting the club for about a year or so. I think we got a lot of new supporters last year, and a lot of the older generation supporters haven't been able to afford tickets this year, which has made it a bit of a problem, and the atmosphere obviously has been sanitised a little bit, but it was a good result nonetheless yesterday in the poor conditions, which is good. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow doing a live stream again for deadline day and other things as well, fingers crossed, depending on how I feel. Hopefully I'll be in a much better frame of mind. The past few weeks have been an absolute nightmare, really, and I think you can tell by the way I look. Don't look too great, but we've just got a soldier on. I missed 2 games as well, which is an absolute shame, because I never miss Fulham games and it takes a lot for me to miss them. So hopefully when we play, I think Man United at home the next game, I'll be fit and well to go there, because I've never seen us play against Man United before, so it'll be a good experience. Because whenever we played against Man United, I've never been able to get tickets. So it's all, now I'm a season ticket holder, and I have been for a number of years. It's allowed me the opportunity to go and watch some of these bigger teams, and I can't wait to really go and see them. I just get, I'm looking forward to the next few games. We've got some massive teams coming up, and it's just so exciting just to watch these type of teams and hopefully even get a win against one of them, which would be great. But this is where we'll leave it, guys. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new as well, and take care. See you soon.